Have you ever wondered why some people spend decades searching for the love of their life, while others experience encounters so intense they completely shake their inner foundation? There is an explanation that goes beyond luck, timing, or destiny. A true twin flame reunion follows a defined process of 11 stages that most people are entirely unaware of. And when these stages are not understood, you can spend years moving in circles, repeating patterns that push away exactly what you most want to find. The twin flame reunion is not simply romance. It is alchemy. It is a process of transformation that can take years, decades, or even entire lifetimes, depending on the level of consciousness of each soul involved. Every stage has its own purpose, its own lessons, and its own challenges that cannot be skipped or forced. When you try to rush a reunion without completing the necessary stages, you create resistance that may last far longer than if you allowed the process to unfold naturally. Today, I will guide you through the 11 stages of twin flame reunion, based on deep studies of individuation and transcendent connections. This is a complete framework built on decades of observing real patterns in real people who have gone through profound transformations through these unique connections. It will help you understand where you may be right now, what you need to develop in order to move forward consciously, and most importantly, how to recognize your current stage and navigate it with awareness. Because what you are experiencing now may only be preparation for something far greater that is yet to come. And if you stay until the end, you will discover the most difficult stage of the entire journey, the one where most people give up when they are actually closest to true reunion. A twin flame reunion does not occur simply when two people meet physically. It happens when two consciousnesses that have already completed the process of individuation recognize each other as complementary expressions of the same cosmic essence. Carl Jung identified a fundamental difference between intense attraction, emotional compatibility, and true soulmate recognition. The first two can create meaningful but temporary relationships. The third creates an energetic connection that goes far beyond ordinary human categories. When two true twin flames consciously reunite, they are not just forming a relationship. They are creating an energetic field that can influence reality in ways that science still cannot fully explain. They may become capable of manifesting with unusual speed, healing ancestral wounds not only within themselves, but also within their family lines, accessing insights beyond the five senses, and co-creating projects that positively affect thousands or even millions of people. This is why such a reunion is not allowed to happen carelessly. Each soul must be fully prepared to handle this level of shared creative power with maturity, awareness, and balance. They must learn to love without control, to connect deeply while maintaining individuality, and to recognize the divine in another without projecting unrealistic expectations. This preparation unfolds through 11 specific stages that may repeat, overlap, or appear in different sequences, yet always include the same core elements of growth and transformation. These stages are not linear or predictable, because each pair of twin flames carries a unique combination of lessons and abilities to develop. What makes this process even more intriguing is that these stages can occur even when the two individuals are physically apart, even when they do not communicate for years, because the real reunion begins on an energetic and spiritual level before it appears in the physical world. In some cases, one soul must complete these stages internally before an external reunion becomes possible. The first stage of reunion is the most subtle and is rarely recognized. It begins when one or both souls start to feel a deep, unexplained restlessness, as if something essential is missing from their lives. This is not dissatisfaction with external conditions, nor is it depression or emotional need. It is a quiet but persistent sense that there is something or someone you are meant to encounter, even though you cannot yet identify it. This marks the activation of the Jungian archetype, when the unconscious begins preparing for a meeting that has not yet occurred in the physical world. During this stage, you may experience recurring dreams of someone whose face you cannot clearly see, yet who brings a strong sense of familiarity and longing. You may feel subtle, energetic presences, as if someone is thinking about you intensely, even though no one is physically there. You might suddenly become interested in subjects, places, or activities that previously did not attract you, without understanding why they now feel important. At first, this longing is not conscious. It feels as if your soul understands something your mind has not yet grasped. You may spend months or even years with this feeling, without linking it to a possible twin flame reunion. You might try to fill the emptiness with relationships, work, hobbies, or travel, but nothing fully satisfies the sense that something essential is missing. Some people attempt to ignore this feeling or interpret it as general dissatisfaction with life. They make external changes, changing jobs, ending relationships, moving to new places, hoping the feeling will disappear. But it remains because it is not connected to external circumstances. It is one soul calling to another across time and space. During this first stage, you may also develop increased sensitivity to energy, emotions, and intuition. It can feel as if your perception is being refined so that you can recognize your twin flame when the meeting finally happens. You may notice that you can sense the emotions of others more easily, that your intuitions are often accurate, and that you can detect intentions that are not openly expressed. This is also the stage where many people become interested in spirituality, depth psychology, and self-knowledge, as if the longing for a twin flame also awakens a deeper desire to understand existence itself. This happens because the search for a twin flame and the search for the self are, in essence, the same journey viewed from different perspectives. The second stage may occur years later or alongside the first. It is the stage where you begin to receive specific signs that the encounter is approaching. These are not vague or general signs, but clear symbols, synchronicities, and experiences that seem intentionally aligned to prepare you for something meaningful. You may notice repeating numbers, hear the same phrases in completely different contexts, experience more vivid and detailed dreams, or meet people who speak about twin flames without you ever mentioning the topic. It can feel as though the universe is gently signaling that something significant is about to take place. During this phase of premonitory signs, you may feel a growing sense of anticipation, as if you are waiting for someone without knowing who they are. You might unexpectedly cancel plans, take different routes to familiar places, or accept invitations you would usually decline, guided by a quiet intuition that something important may happen if you are in the right place at the right time. These signs can also appear as internal changes. You may begin taking better care of yourself without a clear reason, feel motivated to develop hidden talents, or start therapy or self-reflection work, as if preparing for a more evolved version of yourself. Some of these signs may come through other people. Friends might suddenly talk about destined connections, deep relationships, or twin flames. Therapists may explore relationship themes even if you did not bring them up. It can feel as though the universe is communicating through those around you. Interestingly, this stage often brings both excitement and resistance. Part of you may want the encounter to happen quickly, while another part feels uncertain or afraid of meeting someone who could transform your life completely. This inner conflict is natural, as such a connection represents both a profound gift and a significant challenge. Premonitory signs may also involve the natural closing of chapters in your life. Relationships that no longer align, the completion of personal or professional cycles, or the resolution of long-standing family matters. It can feel as though your path is being cleared, removing distractions so that you are fully available when the meeting occurs. The third stage is often seen as the beginning of the journey, but in reality, it is only the physical expression of a process that has already been unfolding on deeper levels. This is the moment of mutual recognition, when two souls look at each other and know, without hesitation, that they have known each other before, even within this lifetime. This recognition does not occur in the mind. It happens on a deeper level, where the soul identifies a frequency that feels both familiar and entirely unique. It is as if two parts of the same melody finally reconnect after being separated for a long time. You may meet in ordinary circumstances, yet the moment your eyes meet creates a noticeable shift in your experience of reality. Time may seem to slow down, and everything around you fades as you process the intensity of the connection. There may be a strong sense of déjà vu, almost disorienting, as if the moment has already happened many times before. You may feel a deep sense of relief, as though you have finally arrived home after a long journey. What sets this apart from attraction or love at first sight is the certainty that accompanies it. You instinctively know the meeting is meaningful, that it was not accidental, and that your life will not remain the same. This certainty exists even before any conversation or understanding of each other's personality or background. During this stage, you may notice remarkable similarities in your lives. Shared birth dates, having lived in the same places at different times, or going through similar experiences during the same periods. Beyond external coincidences, there is a deeper alignment in values, perspectives, dreams, and even fears. You may also experience heightened intuitive or psychic awareness, such as sensing each other's emotions from a distance, sharing dreams, or knowing personal details without being told. It can feel as though the connection activates abilities that only emerge when the two of you connect. However, mutual recognition does not mean you are ready for full reunion. In many cases, it is only the beginning of a journey that may include separation, growth, and challenges that test the depth of the connection. Recognition confirms the bond, but not the timing. The fourth stage is often the most intense and, at times, confusing. It begins when the two souls who have recognized each other start to experience an energetic merging that can feel both deeply fulfilling and overwhelming. During this initial fusion, the boundaries between you may begin to blur. You may feel each other's emotions as if they are your own, experience thoughts that are difficult to distinguish as yours or theirs, or even sense physical sensations across distance. It can feel like two systems suddenly operating on the same frequency, constantly receiving each other's signals. This stage can feel like a state of emotional harmony. You may feel deeply understood, accepted, and connected in ways you have never experienced before. Conversations flow effortlessly, and even silence feels meaningful. However, this intensity can also bring discomfort, as it challenges your sense of independence and identity. You may feel incomplete when apart, develop a strong need for constant connection, or experience anxiety when you do not know what the other person is doing. It may seem as though you can only fully be yourself when you are together. Because of this intensity, it is common for one or both individuals to create distance as a way to regain balance. The connection can trigger fears of losing identity, being abandoned, or not being able to sustain such a powerful bond. At the same time, it can bring unresolved emotional patterns to the surface. Fears of abandonment may intensify, dependency patterns may appear, and unmet emotional needs from earlier life experiences can emerge with strong intensity. It is as if the connection acts like a magnifying lens, amplifying both the most beautiful qualities and the most challenging aspects of each person. Initial fusion is necessary to experience the full potential of the bond, but it is also temporary by nature. Two individuals cannot remain merged indefinitely without losing their sense of self. True twin flames must preserve their individuality in order to contribute their best to the connection. That is why, after fusion, some form of separation or distance almost always follows, allowing each person to individuate again. The fifth stage is often the most painful and least understood in the entire process. After the intensity of the initial fusion, one or both souls feel the need to step back to process what happened and to regain their personal identity. This separation does not occur due to a lack of love, but rather because the depth of the connection was so powerful that it challenged the emotional stability of at least one person. During this period of necessary distance, you may feel confused about what truly happened between you. The one who withdraws may begin to question whether the connection was genuine or simply an intense projection. Whether it is worth risking emotional balance for something uncertain, or whether it would be better to pursue safer, more predictable relationships. The one who remains may feel rejected, abandoned, or even betrayed by the person they believe to be their twin flame. However, what many people fail to understand is that this separation is not the end. It is a crucial part of the journey. Carl Jung emphasized that for two individuals to unite consciously as twin flames, each must first become whole independently. A healthy union cannot be built on need, dependency, or loss of identity. It must arise from the conscious choice of two complete individuals. Separation forces both people to do the inner work they might otherwise avoid, while immersed in the comfort of intense connection. You are required to learn how to love yourself without relying on the other's presence, to feel complete on your own, and to heal the deeper wounds that the connection has brought to the surface. It becomes a process of discovering who you truly are outside of each other's reflection. During this time, you may try to convince yourself to move forward, to believe that the connection was only an illusion, or that it is time to be practical. You may enter other relationships, hoping to prove you can feel the same connection elsewhere. You might change environments, careers, or routines, or even pursue therapy with the intention of letting go. Yet despite all these efforts, the connection does not fully disappear. Even after long periods without contact, even when you build separate lives, something within you remains linked. You may sense when the other person is going through difficulties, have dreams involving them, or feel subtle presences that seem connected to them. This stage of separation can also reveal new strengths and qualities that only emerge when you are not directly influenced by each other's energy. You may become more independent, creative, and confident. You may develop new skills, relationships, and life paths that enrich your individuality. The purpose of this stage is to transform two people who once depended on each other into two individuals who are complete on their own and capable of choosing each other freely. When this transformation is achieved, you become ready for a conscious reunion that is based on mutual fulfillment rather than emotional need. The sixth stage may begin months or even years after separation, often when you have already released expectations of reconnecting. At this point, both individuals are working independently, begin developing the qualities that were previously missing for a stable and mature twin flame connection. During this phase of parallel personal growth, you may not know what the other person is experiencing. Yet both of you are undergoing similar internal changes that prepare you for a possible reunion. This development may include deep therapeutic work to address childhood wounds that interfered with healthy relationships, spiritual growth that aligns you with a greater purpose, professional progress that builds confidence and independence, and the cultivation of creative talents that bring fulfillment. Carl Jung observed that true twin flames, even when apart, often go through synchronized individuation processes. One may be healing abandonment patterns, while the other is learning emotional balance. The one may be expanding creative expression, while the other develops leadership abilities. It is as if both are growing in alignment, even in separate environments. During this stage, dreams involving each other may return, but with a different tone. Instead of longing or emotional need, these dreams may reflect recognition, mutual respect, or even forgiveness for past pain. It can feel as though communication is taking place on a deeper, non-physical level. You may also feel an urge to reconnect, but this time it comes from curiosity, care, or a desire to share growth, not from emptiness or dependency. The emotional quality of this impulse is calmer and more balanced. This phase often brings a deeper understanding of everything that has occurred. You may begin to see the separation as necessary, the challenges as opportunities for growth, and even the pain as a catalyst for transformation. You develop compassion for both yourself and the other person, recognizing that each stage had a purpose. You may also become more attractive to others, not through neediness, but through confidence, maturity, and authenticity. Interestingly, the less you rely on your twin flame to feel complete, the more prepared you are for a healthy reunion. It is also during this stage that you may begin to sense a greater shared purpose. You might develop skills, ideas, or projects that later align perfectly with what the other person has been working on, as if both of you were unknowingly preparing for a future collaboration. The seventh stage begins when circumstances start aligning to create opportunities for reunion. These are no longer forced or emotionally driven situations, but natural and meaningful synchronicities. It may feel as though different aspects of your lives are gradually aligning to bring you back together at the right moment. These synchronicities may begin subtly. You might find yourselves in the same places without planning it, discover mutual connections, or receive invitations to events where meeting becomes possible. Unlike earlier stages, these situations do not create anxiety or urgency. Instead, they bring a sense of calm curiosity and trust that if the connection is meant to resume, it will happen naturally. You may also realize that during your time apart, your lives have moved in similar directions. You may share new interests, frequent similar environments, or have overlapping social or professional circles. It can feel as though your paths have been gradually converging. Shared dreams may also occur, where you meet and discuss reconnecting with greater clarity and maturity. These experiences can act as preparation for physical reunion. Others may also play a role during this stage. Friends might casually mention the other person, suggest reconnecting, or create opportunities for interaction in subtle ways. It may seem as though those around you intuitively sense that something meaningful is about to unfold. What stands out in this phase is that neither person is actively chasing the reunion. Both are living independently and fully, while remaining open to the possibility of reconnecting if the timing is right. There is a sense of trust that if the bond is genuine, nothing can prevent it from unfolding naturally. Practical situations may also arise that bring you back into contact. One of you may have knowledge, skills, or support that the other needs. These circumstances allow reconnection without disrupting the independence both of you have developed. During this stage, you may also feel a sense of peace about the entire journey. Even if reunion does not happen immediately, you trust that everything is progressing as it should. The eighth stage is the reunion itself. but it unfolds very differently from what you may have imagined earlier. When the meeting finally happens, it is not dramatic or overwhelming. Instead, it carries a calm and grounded sense of recognition, like reconnecting with someone familiar after a long time apart. During this conscious reunion, you may notice how much both of you have changed. The person you once felt strongly connected to is still there, but now enriched with growth, insight, and maturity. The connection remains deep, but it is now supported by practical compatibility that may not have existed before. The reunion itself may occur in simple ways, meeting unexpectedly, reconnecting through mutual acquaintances, or even through casual online interaction. After such a long process of growth, the universe rarely creates dramatic scenarios for reconnection. You may also observe that the qualities you once admired have evolved into stronger forms. Intelligence may have developed into wisdom, passion into purpose, and intensity into depth. You begin to see not only who the other person was, but who they have become through their individual journey. Communication also changes significantly. Conversations become clear, honest, and free from hidden expectations or fears. You can openly discuss your experiences, your growth, and what you now seek from the connection. At this stage, you may realize that you have developed a healthier way of giving and receiving love. Instead of loving from a place of need, you offer love from a place of completeness. Instead of trying to control or possess the other, you respect their individuality. Instead of fearing loss, you trust the strength of the connection itself. From this place, you may choose to explore building a shared life together. But now, as a conscious decision, not as an emotional necessity. You understand that both of you can live fulfilling lives independently. Yet you also recognize the potential to create something even more meaningful together than you could alone. Conscious reunion is also the stage where you may begin to notice additional aspects of the twin flame connection, such as telepathy, shared dreams, and synchronicities returning, but now in a calmer and more integrated way. Instead of feeling overwhelming or unsettling, these experiences become natural parts of your everyday connection, something you understand and appreciate rather than fear. The 9th stage can last for months or even years. It is when you consciously explore the possibility of building a life together. This exploration happens with the maturity of two individuals who already understand each other deeply, who have faced significant challenges together, and who are aware of both their strengths and limitations as a pair. During this phase, you may find that you handle conflicts very differently than before. Instead of emotional arguments that threaten the relationship, you engage in constructive conversations that strengthen understanding. You learn to disagree without attacking, to express needs without making demands, and to approach challenges as a team rather than as opponents. You may also notice that physical intimacy develops into something deeper than conventional attraction. When two people who genuinely recognize each other reconnect after a period of growth, their physical connection can reach levels of emotional and even spiritual depth that go beyond ordinary experience. It can feel as though the physical aspect becomes a channel for a deeper connection between two souls. This stage is also where you begin to understand the shared purpose behind your connection. You may realize that your skills and talents complement each other in ways that allow you to create something meaningful, whether in professional, creative, humanitarian, or spiritual areas. In many cases, twin flames do not reunite only for personal happiness, but to contribute something valuable together. During this time, you may consider living together, getting married, starting a family, or defining your relationship in other ways. However, These decisions are made with clarity and practical awareness, not only emotional intensity. You recognize that love alone is not enough. It must be supported by compatibility and shared direction. There may also be moments of reflection where you question whether you are ready for the level of commitment this type of connection requires. Even though it is meaningful and fulfilling, it also demands ongoing personal growth, honesty, and responsibility. You may need time to decide if you are willing to fully engage with that level of depth. At the same time, you may notice that friends and family respond differently to your relationship now. Where there may have once been concern or doubt, there is now recognition of stability and maturity. The energy between you inspires trust rather than worry. This phase also involves integrating your connection into daily life. You learn how to maintain emotional and spiritual depth while managing practical responsibilities such as work, finances, family, and social relationships. You begin to function not only as deeply connected individuals, but also as practical partners navigating real life together. Say the 10th stage is the point where you consciously choose to commit to each other, not just as souls who recognize one another, but as individuals who decide to build a shared life based on common values, goals, and compatibility. This commitment moves beyond romance into a more grounded and intentional partnership. During this stage, you may create rituals or ceremonies that reflect both the spiritual depth of your bond and the practical decision to move forward together. This could be a traditional wedding, a private commitment ceremony, or simply a meaningful conversation where you clearly express your intentions. What matters is the awareness behind the choice. This stage is defined by a sense of balance between surrender and independence. You fully embrace the connection while maintaining your individuality. You commit to each other without losing personal freedom. You learn to exist as both independent individuals and a united pair. You may also establish clear agreements about how to handle the unique aspects of your connection. This can include how you manage emotional intensity, how you create space for individual growth, and how you use any intuitive or heightened awareness you may have developed. During this stage, you often find that you can support each other's personal growth in ways that accelerate development for both of you. Instead of feeling threatened by each other's progress, you feel encouraged. Instead of competing, you collaborate. Instead of limiting each other, you celebrate growth and expansion. This is also the phase where you may decide how to share the benefits of your connection with others. Some couples feel drawn to teaching, creating meaningful work, supporting others, or simply demonstrating what a mature and conscious relationship can look like. At this level, your connection may begin to positively influence the people and environments around you. Many couples who reach this stage naturally become examples for others seeking deeper relationships. Conscious commitment does not mean challenges disappear. It means you have developed the awareness, tools, and dedication needed to face difficulties in a healthy and constructive way. You prioritize both the relationship and each other's growth. You may also notice that your connection continues to evolve over time, especially in areas of intimacy and emotional depth, revealing new dimensions as the relationship matures. The 11th and final stage is the most complex and meaningful. It is when you truly function as a unified force while still maintaining your individuality. During this stage of transcendent union, you may find that together you can create, influence, and contribute in ways that would not be possible alone. This level is not reached quickly. It often takes years of shared experience, growth, and mutual support. At this stage, the connection feels stable, natural, and deeply integrated into all aspects of life. Any intuitive or perceptive abilities you developed individually may now work together in a more refined way. You may communicate with a high level of understanding, make decisions with clarity, and align easily on important matters. Many couples at this level naturally become sources of guidance for others, not by intention, but through the example they represent. There is also a sense of flow in how life unfolds. Decisions feel aligned, opportunities arise naturally, and challenges are managed with greater ease. You may notice that your connection expands beyond the relationship itself, developing into a broader sense of compassion and contribution. Your partnership becomes a source of positive impact for others, whether through your actions, your work, or simply the way you interact with the world. At this stage, many couples realize their connection was not only about personal fulfillment, but also about contributing to something greater. This may include creating meaningful work, supporting others, or demonstrating that relationships can be based on growth, respect, purpose, and mutual support. Transcendent union does not imply perfection. You still experience challenges, emotions, and limitations, but you handle them with understanding, patience, and perspective. Couples who reach this stage often describe their connection as deeply harmonious and natural, as if they are two expressions of a shared essence working together. There is a sense of balance and ease that inspires others and offers a realistic example of what meaningful connection can look like. You may also recognize that your relationship creates a lasting impact through the people you influence, the work you create, or the values you embody. These are the 11 stages of twin flame reunion, a journey that shapes not only your relationships, but also your personal growth and your impact on the world. Each stage carries its own lessons and cannot be rushed or avoided. No matter where you are in the process, every step contributes to your development. Every challenge offers growth, and every separation prepares you for a more conscious form of connection. The twin flame journey is not about finding someone to complete you. It is about becoming complete within yourself so that when you connect, you create something greater than an ordinary relationship. It is about understanding that true love is not control, but freedom, not dependency, but conscious choice. Not loss of identity, but a union that respects individuality. Even if your path does not lead to the physical reunion you imagined, or unfolds differently than expected, the real value lies in who you become through the experience. You develop the ability to love with depth and awareness, something that cannot be taken away from you. And that transformation influences every area of your life. If you have followed this journey and recognized parts of your own experience within these stages, if it feels like this message reflects something personal, then there are tools that can support your process of growth and conscious connection. I have created 2 resources based on the teachings of Carl Jung and the study of personal transformation. The first is 21 Days of Transformation, a structured guide designed to help you apply key principles of self-development and individuation. Over 21 days, you will work through practical exercises aimed at healing emotional patterns, developing maturity, and strengthening your sense of self so you can form healthier connections. And the second is the Soul Survival Manual, created for those moments when the journey feels especially challenging, particularly during periods of separation or uncertainty. It offers practical strategies to help you maintain clarity, manage emotions, and use each difficulty as an opportunity for growth. Both resources are available through the link in the pinned comment. And now, I would like to know who stayed with me until the end. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments, "I'm ready for conscious reunion." This reflects not just interest, but a genuine commitment to growth. Only a small number of people who experience intense connections are able to move through all 11 stages consciously, not because it is impossible, but because it requires emotional maturity, courage, and a willingness to grow beyond comfort. And if you have come this far, it suggests you have the capacity for that transformation. Thank you for being open to a deeper understanding of love, one that goes beyond common ideas about relationships, and for being willing to do the inner work required to experience it consciously. See you in the next video.